Hello and welcome back to Heat Check. This is your stock market weekly update. I'm just going to jump right into it this week. So, taking a look at the S&P 500, as you can see, there's quite a bit of green, especially in technology services. You can see Microsoft's up, Google's up, Meta's up 5%, Apple, Nvidia's down about 3%. But overall, you can definitely tell the market tends to be trending in the more bullish direction, at least as of this week. Let's take a look at the 5-day performance. So yeah, we're up about 1.16% over the last 5 days, which it's a good sign, especially after the last month of a lot of down days, a lot of down weeks. Let's take a look at the VIX. Yeah, so obviously, as expected, the VIX is trending lower, down 11%. You can see over the past month, it's really peaked here at, looks like March 10th on the Monday, and it's down about 34%. So that's generally a good sign when you see volatility coming down. Taking a look at our Fear and Greed Index, we have fear category sitting at 29. It's definitely trending more towards the neutral, but we're still sitting in that fear side of things. You can see a week ago was at 24 in extreme fear, so now we're in the fear category. And a month ago, it was also an extreme fear. So it's a good, we're trending in the right direction in regards to moving into positive territory. However, again, still kind of uncertain as we look at the indicators. So let's take a look at the 125-day moving average. As you can see, the market is on its uptrend recently. However, we still haven't crossed over that 125-day moving average, meaning we could likely trend lower over the coming weeks. It could make another turn kind of down below this 5,500 level where we see a little bit of resistance, or it could push through the 125-day moving average, and we'll see what happens. So that's an extreme fear. Not surprisingly, stock price strength is an extreme fear. Stock price breadth, also an extreme fear. Put and call options, also an extreme fear. And then we're talking about our VIX, so our market volatility seems to be in this neutral category. So last week we discussed how we were at kind of that 19 or just above that 19 level, and I said I wanted to see if it would break through that level here, that 50-day moving average level of about 19, and it did, down to about 17, and it seems to be kind of peaking back up and checking the resistance here at again at about 18.61. So we'll see what happens over the next week, see if it meets this resistance and then takes another leg lower, or if it kind of spikes back up again. Safe haven demand, not surprisingly, 20-day stock and bond returns. Bonds still are in the outperformance over stocks. However, it's definitely over the last week or so, it's definitely changed quite dramatically, trending in the upwards direction because stocks are kind of making a little bit of a turn in regards to performing much better than they had prior. And then junk bond demands in extreme greed. All right, so let's take a look at the ASX 200. This is your Australian index. A lot of green as well. Good week for the Australian index. Definitely in the financials, some good deep green in the financials here, and as well as the non-energy materials, and then retail trade as well. A lot of deep green here in our big retail companies. Let's take a look at it on the 5 days. So last 5 days, we're up about 0.5% over the past 5 days. On the month, down still, but you can see it really made bottoms at about March 13th, and it's up about 2.7% since then. So again, we're trending in the right direction, which is good to see, but we'll see how that plays out over the next coming weeks. Take a look at the TSX Composite. This is our Canadian index. A lot of deep green in our Canadian index. You can see a lot of, again, financials doing really, really well. Royal's up 3.13%, TD's up about 2.3%, Brookfield up 3.75%, BAM's up 4%. So yeah, really, I mean, there's very little red in the financials in general, which is that's pretty shocking to see an entire index, nearly all of it green, or sorry, an entire sector. Yeah, so TSX definitely looks pretty good. Let's see how it is over the last 5 days. So over the last 5 days, we are up 0.68%. which is pretty minimal, but still, again, good, trending in the right direction. Over the past month, really, we're pretty flat over the past month, which is pretty good for the Canadian index. And you can see that it also bottomed here on March 13th, and seems to be up about nearly 4%, which is pretty good. And when comparing all three, let's take a look over the last 5 days. So we have our TSX seems to be up about 0.32%. S&P 500's up about 0.67%, and our ASX. So really very similar performance across the board. Roughly that kind of point, that half a percentage point, really kind of, I would say it's close to flat over the week. But again, if you look at the last month, you can see it again made these bottoms in about March 13th, and then it's really been up an upward trajectory since then, which is good to see. You can see the TSX actually is nearly flat on the month, which is quite the recovery for the Canadian index. All right, so that's your heat check for the week. Let me know if you like the video below by leaving a like and subscribe. Thanks.